So, have you ever been watching TV and you're watching the show and you maybe fall asleep, and when you wake up, it's a different show on, and you just because you don't feel like changing the channel, start watching that show, and then you realize, holy shit, what show is this? I love this show. Has that ever happened to either of y'all? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick story? A somewhat quick story about something that happened to me this week. So I was minding my business, getting caught up because the wife loves to watch this show called Severance, which I'm not a huge fan of. Y'all into Severance?
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not big on Severance. It's a show, all right. I think it's frankly kind of weird. There's one character in that I love. It's like this big black dude with little lips. He's the same dude from Spider-Man. He was in Shang-Chi, but he only makes cameo appearances. So I'm watching that. I fall asleep and I wake up, and this show with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford called Shrinking is on TV, and it's on episode 1. And I start watching it out of laziness because I can't find the remote and I don't feel like going all the way to the TV or whatever. And bro, when I tell you I fell head over heels in love with this show and could not stop watching it until I watched every single episode. I watched episode 1 and then it gave me the next. I was like, fuck yeah, next. You know what I'm saying? Give me episode 2. I need it right now. I need it. And then it got to the end of the season and Nolly, I was so sad. And you know what happened? It said, do you want to go on to season 2? And I was like, there's a season 2? There's a season 2? And I lost my shit. I canceled everything I had planned for the day, and I sat and watched that whole entire season, ate butter pecan ice cream like a whole, I almost said like a woman, that would have been chauvinistic, like a whole person going through a breakup. It could be male or female. And I did not stop. You could not get me to play a video game. I was completely hooked. This is literally possibly the very best show that doesn't have action or doesn't have any kind of superpowers that I may have seen in the last few years. I cannot believe. And I remember, you tried to put me on. You tried. To put me on. You did try to put me on, and I did not listen. And I almost all the time I get mad when like streaming services try to force you to watch another show like that comes on afterwards or whatever. But this time it actually worked. And holy shit, that show is the funniest, but the most feelingest show. And this is why I said this is why I said I had something to confess. The shit made me cry. The shit made me goddamn cry. I laughed, I cried, I celebrated. I cannot recommend a show more. I know we're a black podcast. When we talk about black shows, there are black people, and the way that it is written, they are constantly including the perspective of the black person. They do not try to whitewash it, and I love it. And that's kind of how Jason Segel, Bill Lawrence, if you ever watched Scrubs, if you ever watched Cougar Town, you know what I'm saying? These are the folks who made this show. It's that same humor. And there's even characters from Scrubs and Cougar Town in this show. And I know we got Spider-Man on here because we got to keep the people who got ADHD from leaving because, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Spider-Man. But yes, right now I'm talking about this show called Shrinking. And as a dude who's cerebral, even the title of the title Shrinking, like for it to kind of have multi levels of the name, like the definition. Yes, shrinking. You're a shrink. You're a therapist. Shrink. It's a synonym, but it's also the shrinking of your ego, the shrinking of yourself, the shrinking of your life, the shrinking. Yeah, it's fucking
depths. Yes. Finally. That's all I gotta say.
It's been so long since I completely drowned in a show and was so into it where I'm like, I feel like I'm walking down the street in the same suburbs as these motherfuckers. And just the humor is just, I laugh out loud so long and so hard and so belly laughs, like constant, like, oh my God, stop. Like I have to pause because I'm laughing so hard. Like it's I have not been so hooked on a show that did not have any supernatural superpowers, any science fiction, nothing like that in the longest time. And I had to say, sorry, Yaz, that I didn't listen to you before. I even want to pass it to my wife. My wife recommended it to me, and I was like, nah, it ain't for me.
You
You know
like,
what I'm
I've been
saying?
sleeping on this shit, and you and Yaz recommended this shit to me, and it has so many levels, so many depths. It's fucking
Oh my
amazing.
God.
And all I had to do was
so
sit
good.
my ass down and watch the first episode. Remember what Anthony said? 8 minutes.
Yes, it's
You
so
hooked in the
good.
first 8 minutes. Damn, that's got to be a fucking good ass show, and you need to dedicate some time to watch that.